I'm Francesca D'Amore, and let's queer up trans rights. Texas AG says trans youth talk therapy could cost therapists their licenses under state law. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton says the state's ban on gender-affirming care for transgender minors also applies to talk therapy, warning mental health professionals they could risk losing their licenses. In a legal opinion issued the day before the March 3rd Republican primary, Paxton said a 2023 Texas law prohibiting doctors from providing gender-affirming care to minors extends beyond medical procedures to include licensed mental health providers. While the law originally focused on medical procedures related to transitioning a child's biological sex, Paxton argued the statute applies broadly to anyone licensed by the Texas Behavioral Health Executive Council. That includes psychologists, family therapists, and many social workers. Paxton issued the opinion after Dr. Daryl Spinks, executive director of the council, requested clarification about whether the law applies to professionals who provide talk therapy. Paxton, in his advisory, berated Spinks for questioning whether the law applies. Paxton wrote, quote, "The unambiguous definition of healthcare provider does not require prescription pad or scalpel. For good reason, too, given that the multidisciplinary path to medically transitioning children often starts with mental health care." Yeah. We received several briefs highlighting that mental health professionals serve as the clinical gatekeepers whose assessments and recommendations initiate the interventions prohibited by SB 14. Any radical facilitating the transitioning of our kids is committing child abuse, end quote. This is just insane to me. I mean, it's insanity is the word that kept on running through my brain while I was, telling the story. All kids need mental health, I mean.
One fact,
right?
And more every day.
More and more, and all kinds of kids need mental health.
Yeah.
And I'm really concerned for our kids in general, but our trans and non-binary kids.
100%.
Who are they going to talk to? Already there's so much pressure in schools with don't say gay, and teachers can't do this and counselors can't do that. I'm concerned where this is heading.
The Trevor Project tells us every year, that the number gets higher and higher, right? Last year it was 9 out of 10, right? Kids that had been, that were part of the study that had thought about hurting themselves, Gender affirming care helps that, all right? So these kids don't think of wanting to end their lives, right? They are not doing surgeries on kids, to change their gender. I don't know where that shit came from. You know what I mean? I know where it came from. Sorry, Dale.
The same people that say the Democrats are killing babies. So it's the same people.
You know what I mean? That's not happening. We're not going into schools and but gender affirming care is talking. It literally is letting the kid know that they are perfect and whole exactly how they are, and that will help them with the process to get and become the sex that they really are and that they really are.
Yeah. And the therapy part of it, the mental health aspect of it, the discovery of where that child may be in their journey. And the discovery part, am I trans? All the questions that are asked, right? I mean, you can shed light on that for me, because, I think that's probably the most crucial part, especially in the beginning phase of wanting to transition.
So I think it's really interesting, the debate, about our adults, putting their perspectives onto, our youth. As somebody who's trans, I was born trans, I've always been trans. It was a big struggle for me my whole life. I always knew who the hell I was. Kids are smart.
Yeah.
You hang out with kids, any kids, I have a lot of kids in my life, they will let you know exactly what they're thinking, how they're thinking, how they want things, no filters.
Yeah.
And who are we to stop them from experiencing life,
Yeah.
And your kids are so lucky. Your kids are so lucky to have you in their lives.
We, at Unity on the Bay, we're blessed to have a couple of families who have trans children, right? And I have been blessed to be able to talk to the mothers, right? Because Teresa has been able to help them with some gender affirming stuff. And Teresa, my wife, right? To have these conversations with these strong ass women, not gay, not LGBTQ people, right? Having a trans child changes their perspective on everything, right? And they will go to Columbia, they will go wherever they need to go to make sure that their kid gets what they need. But the conversation, I get goosebumps with this one woman and her telling me, my kid wanted to kill himself. My kid wanted to cut a certain body part off them. That's real shit. That is real. Nobody wants to lose their child, you know? And just that the thought that that kid is thinking of ending their lives because the rest of us can't get it together.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
So, yes, we know that the end goal, the long goal, the short-term goal is erasure at all ages, all levels, all sexual identity. So we know that. So let's take a moment to discuss the fascist fuck that is Ken Paxton. This is a horrible person, even by Texas standards. He's currently running for the Senate Republican nomination in Texas. It's going to a runoff because even Texans were saying, you're too much. Republican Texans were like, you're too much for us. And neither one, the incumbent senator couldn't get 50%. Ken couldn't get 50%.
This is the same seat that Tellerico is going for in the Democrats.
Yes, this is the one that he's going to get. He has, in his last run for Attorney General of Texas, he showed up to a campaign event wearing a campaign shirt like Paxton for Texas, shortly after a mass shooting in Texas. And that's what he was thinking about. Dead people don't care. Vote for me. He shows up, does a news conference in a t-shirt. Just so stupid. He was also impeached by the Texas House of Representatives, which is also dominantly Republican. Now, the Senate let him off the hook. But this person is not well loved. He is a terrible person from the inside out and the outside in. And you know what? If Texas elects him to anything more than dog catcher, they're effed up. And I think Kristi Noem's getting that position. So,
she's crossing her fingers for it, right? There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.